and stuff.
Okay. So, this is my very favorite story ever. It's about how my favorite person and I became a couple when we were still a couple. I really have to start from the beginning. I never wanted to date a musician. I definitely never wanted to date a musician that was a guitarist. And I definitely never wanted to date a musician that was the lead singer. And then there I was, dating a lead singer that played guitar in this band. And we were still just kind of beginning to date, and really wasn't totally sure yet, but I was out shopping with my sister and I found this little button and it said Noam Way Jose on it, and his band at the time was Noam Chomsky, Garden Gnome. And so I bought it for him, and it was Halloween, and I went to his house a couple hours before the show, and he's panicking like he always does and getting ready for the show, and I was like, I have a present for you, little button. And he was really excited, and it was really cute, and this was going to be my very first show that I was ever going to see of his, and I was really nervous because I didn't ever want to date a musician. And so it was at Blossom Street Gallery, and I was in the back at the beginning of his set, and I slowly got courage and worked my way up to the front, and I was in the very front, and he stops his set and he says to the whole crowd, my girlfriend gave me this pin, and he pins it on his guitar strap. We had not discussed this. So I was freaked out, and I just ran out of the room. I literally ran out of the room. My friend Susan, she came after me and followed me, and we had this huge discussion. I was like, you should have asked me, tell a whole bunch of people. It's not your girlfriend. You didn't ask me. So later on that week, we actually won a dance contest at Fitzgerald's, and we won 2 tickets to see Fun Fest, and this is back in 2010 when they still did stuff like that. And so then it was the first weekend in November, and we were getting ready to go to Austin, and through some series of events that were mostly my fault, we were running late, and so I really wanted to see Ariel Pink Haunted Graffiti. And so I was like, speed, just go faster. And he was like, no, I have a ticket. I don't want to get arrested. I don't want to get pulled over. And I was like, fine. So I'm sitting there pouting, upset because I was going to miss them. And I was on my phone, and Fun does really cool things. And they had this app, real time, everybody was on schedule or not or whatever. It'll show you that. And it showed that they were behind schedule. And I showed him, and I was like, if you speed, we might actually make it. And so he was like, fuck it, we're getting arrested. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna speed. I was like, don't say that. Don't put that into the universe. So he started speeding or whatever, and I was excited, and I was like, okay, we're gonna make it. And that's when I see the sirens and the lights behind us. And I was like, oh no. And I had a little bit of marijuana on me, which I had asked him about if it was okay to bring, because he did not smoke. He was a square. He was a cute little square. So the officer pulled us over, and my adorable, naive companion was asked to step out of the vehicle, and was lied to and told him that if he didn't consent to a search, that he would search it anyway. So he consented for the officer to search the car, and before he searched the car, he asked me to get out of the vehicle, and I am freaking out. So the cop is like, who is that guy? I asked my boyfriend. And he was like, okay, is there anything in the car you should know about? I'm like, nope. Everything's fine. And so, as this is really best told with both of us, but I see the cop walk over to Jose, and he says some things to him, and all of a sudden just see Jose like throw his arms up, and he's like explaining something. I'm like, what's going on? And the cop comes back and he's like, he says he's not your boyfriend. And I was like, okay, we had this fight. I told him about the pin. I told him like how, whatever. I told him the whole story, and he was like, okay, whatever. I'm searching the car. And I was like, oh. So he searches the car. He finds the stuff, right? Whatever. You know how that goes. And he comes up to me because it was in a lady's bag or whatever. And I throw a whole, I don't know how that got in there. I don't know what you're talking about. And he says either you say it's yours, or he says it's his, or I just arrest you both. And I'm not, it wasn't his. And so I said it was mine. And so then he arrested me. It was the first time I was ever arrested. Only time. And I was like, oh my God, don't cry. Don't cry. I was like, Jose will get me out. It will be fine. It will be fine. It's okay. You have all this cash. You can figure something out, right? As long as he has the car, he can come get me. You can figure something out. And so I have my hands behind my back, and I walk past Jose, and I'm just looking at him, which later on he says that he thought that I was really mad at him. I was not. I was just trying not to cry. He puts me in the car, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. And then I see him turn around Jose, and he arrests Jose. And I was like, are you kidding me? Why? Why is he doing that? And I instantly, my heart sinks. I was like, this guy is never talking to me again. There goes the whole boyfriend thing. Like, oh. And so he puts him in the car with me, and I'm just like, so sorry. And as the cop is driving us, he looks to Jose and says, why won't you commit to her? I was like, excuse me, actually that was me. And when we get back, and the cop was chatting us up, and it was really annoying. Whatever. We told him about the dance contest and the whole thing. We get back to the station, and he looks at us, and he's like, if y'all want to kiss before I book you, you can go for it. And I was like, you got it. And I just jumped on him. We just made out for a solid 30, 45 seconds. And the cop was like, okay, you can stop. And I was just like, no, not stopping. And he finally makes us go inside, and we do the whole thing where we get fingerprinted, and they make me give them my clothes, and it's awful. I find out that racism is real in Central Texas because they make Jose give them all of his clothes. I got to keep my underwear, my socks, and my bra. I just had to give them the underwire for my bra. But they let me keep that stuff. And they kept asking me, why'd you get caught up with this guy? I can't believe you let him talk you into smoking weed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys don't even know. It was me. He's an angel. And so the next day, I use my cash to bail myself out. And I have Jose sign over his phone to me so I can call his friends and tell them what's happening. And he says that his parents were on the way to bail him out. I had never met his parents before. And so I waited outside until his parents showed up. His whole family came, his mom, his sister, and his dad. And I met them for the very first time when they were bailing their son out of jail in LaGrange, Fayette County. I hate you. And his mother did not speak to me. His sister only spoke at me, not to me. And then his dad is hugged, kissed me, and was very welcoming. And then, funny thing, whenever they like got his car out of impound, they pulled out first, and they got pulled over, and they got a ticket. That town is racist. And so then we get back to his apartment, and this whole time he'll say, "It's like, don't touch me, not now." And I'm like, okay, I'm like waiting, and his mom comes up to me, and she puts her arms on either of my shoulders, and she says, "Just think about it." She turns and gets back in the car. That's the only thing she says. And then I like run up to Jose, and like he's like, "Not yet." And like we're walking up the stairs, and I was like, "Your mom just told me to think about it?" And he just snaps at me. He's like, "She means your life." Oh. And then when we get into the apartment, he was like, "All right, you're my girlfriend. You told the cop that I was your boyfriend. You're my girlfriend, and that's it." I was like, "Okay." And that's how we became a couple.
Yay.